People are raising eyebrows over how Ray J constantly jumps in to defend Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Word on the street is he's not just some random supporter. He's allegedly their so-called cleanup man. But here's the real jaw-dropper. Insiders claim Ray J and Beyoncé were allegedly hooking up right in front of Jay-Z while he just watched.
I know that Jay-Z is a cold, right? He likes to watch Beyoncé with other men. Ray J, from what I heard, even before all this happened, was one of the guys that used to smash Beyoncé while Jay-Z would watch. Diddy, as we know, is into those.
Word on the street is that Brandy knows all about her brother Ray J and Beyoncé's alleged affair, and some even claim there's a tape floating around. Now let's be real, I haven't seen it myself, but I'm just spilling the tea exactly how it's being served out here. For years, people have been giving Ray J the side eye, wondering why he's always so quick to jump up and shield Jay-Z and Beyoncé every time their names get dragged into messy headlines. It never fails. Scandal drops. And here comes Ray J, preaching about respect and loyalty, like he's their personal spokesperson. Take when Jaguar Wright went on Piers Morgan Uncensored. She boldly called out Diddy and Jay-Z, accusing them of being tied to some of Hollywood's darkest secrets. Ray J immediately swooped in, shutting her down, saying, "We gotta move away from this type of destructive energy and focus on building, not tearing down." Then he doubled down even harder, snapping, "How dare you disrespect Jay-Z and Beyoncé? Jay-Z is an OG. Don't ever disrespect Beyoncé." And this wasn't the only time either, which leaves everybody asking, why does Ray J defend the Carters like his whole life depends on it? If the street talk is true, Ray J's life might actually depend on this, and his ties to the Carters run way deeper than anyone ever imagined. Enter Jonathan Hay, Rihanna's former publicist. The same guy who was right there during her early Ponder Replay breakout days, and he's now being linked to pushing this wild narrative too. Jonathan himself went so far as to suggest that Ray J and Beyoncé really did hook up, and the wildest claim, Jay-Z was allegedly right there watching. That's straight up giving Hollywood Swingers Club energy. But here's the kicker. Jonathan was already wrapped up in scandal years ago when whispers spread about Rihanna and Jay-Z allegedly having a thing. Since he was her publicist back then, he caught tons of mentions, and in a sit-down with All Hip Hop not too long ago, he laid out how messy it really got. According to him, after failing to get Rihanna featured on MTV News, he started scrambling for buzz. Angry at Jay-Z, who he says was more focused on Tiara Mari at the time, Jonathan admitted he got desperate and started pushing the rumor about Riri and Jay-Z. He even said he was heated because all the talk was that Jay was allegedly pursuing someone else instead. Jay-Z's mess doesn't stop there. Jonathan brought up how he later signed a rapper named Lady Sovereign, and at the same time, he was constantly dissing Emile, who eventually walked away from the music industry altogether. She moved to North Carolina to raise her kids, and yes, that's the same Emile who once claimed Beyoncé definitely wanted to hook up with her, and then mysteriously faded from the spotlight after putting that out there. Jonathan also dropped another bombshell. He said he was stopped by federal agents who were supposedly keeping a very close eye on him after his drama with Lansing Rivera. On top of that, he got dragged into allegations tied to an R. Kelly tour. According to him, unmarked law enforcement vehicles pulled him over one day, and these intimidating men introduced themselves as a federal task force. They told him they needed to talk, so he followed them, terrified, into what he described as a desolate makeshift interrogation room. While they grilled him, he realized the weight of the situation, because according to him, the feds told him they were investigating Jay-Z for allegedly engaging in X-rated activity with Rihanna before she turned 18, and for allegedly moving her across international borders illegally. And here's the kicker. They allegedly told him she wasn't the only one, that there were many others. Since then, Jonathan hasn't stopped spilling shocking claims about the Carters, even going as far as to allege that Jay-Z has a preference for transgender women.
Dame Dash knows when they were going on tour that Jay-Z used to have transgender women on there. On the tour bus, he knows that. He knows that Jay-Z used to prefer transgender women. So I don't know why. I wish Dame Dash would come out and, say everything, but maybe in his own way, he's trying to, protect the hip hop culture and knows how many people could be crushed if he came out and really spoke about Jay-Z's secret.
But here's the part that really has people talking. Jonathan flat out claimed that Jay-Z allegedly enjoys watching Beyoncé with other men because that's the kind of thing he's into. And according to him, the word is that Ray J was one of the guys who was allegedly hooking up with Beyoncé, all while Jay sat back and watched.
Yes, Ray J, from what I was told, from being inside at the highest level, that Jay-Z likes to watch Beyoncé with different men, such as Ray J.
Honestly, nothing in Hollywood really shocks me anymore. And the confidence with which Jonathan said all this only makes it sound even more believable. And here's the thing. Plenty of folks online aren't even fazed by these claims. Why? Because the whispers about Beyoncé allegedly having a wild reputation behind the scenes have been around for years. So the idea of her allegedly hooking up with Ray J while Jay-Z watched doesn't sound so far-fetched to the streets. For context, there have been all kinds of messy stories floating for ages, like claims that Beyoncé was being passed around back in the day. One of the darkest rumors even tied Pimp C's death to an alleged tape he was planning to leak of Beyoncé. The talk is that Jay-Z supposedly made sure Pimp C never got the chance to release it. And that's why people say his passing wasn't just some tragic accident.
Who was in this Pimp C tape?
There was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. He used to be in the studio, and every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. He wanted to do something with the footage. I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it, but if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. Tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. People that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little loose.
According to DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia, the details around Pimp C's death just didn't add up. He said Pimp's own manager described finding his body laid out like he was praying, but with blood around him, like he'd been hit. At first, they thought maybe he'd taken a blow to the head, but nobody really knew what had gone down because there was blood everywhere. DJ Paul added that Pimp's body was found kneeling like he was in prayer, with candles burned all the way down. That detail was chilling, because Pimp was known for lighting candles before sleeping, and with them burned out completely, it suggested he'd been gone for at least a full day. And of course, the whispers started flying that Jay-Z might have been involved. It didn't help that there was already tension brewing between Jay and Pimp C. In fact, record executive Greg Taylor shared on The Art of Dialogue that he witnessed one of their most awkward encounters ever, right over the phone. The story went like this. Not long after the deal was locked in for Jay-Z and UGK to collaborate on Big Pimpin', Jay personally called Pimp C. But here's the kicker. The call was on speakerphone, and instead of being hyped about the collab, Pimp C straight up dissed Jay to his face. He told him he should give the money he promised UGK to Tupac's mom instead.
Dame Dash opened up his checkbook, could have checked for $1 million. But no, he said, we want to UGK. So I immediately picked up the phone and called Pimp C. On the phone like, yo, Pimp, him and Jamal was in the house. Calm down, bro. Y'all calm down, Pimp.
I ran up the cable bill.
They was fighting. Okay, they was fighting like hard. I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. All we want was 100,000. I was just like, who is that with? I said, with Rockefeller. Ain't that with Jay-Z? Tell him to take that check and go give it to Tupac mama, man.
There's also been long-standing whispers that Beyoncé and Mos Def were secretly messing around. Now, neither of them has ever confirmed a romance. And on the surface, their link-ups were strictly professional. Collabs, appearances, all in the music lane. But way back in the day, the rumor mill was spinning heavy with claims of something more. Even Cy the Sound chimed in with his own story about spending a weekend with Destiny's Child early in Beyoncé's career, before she reached that superstar status we know today. At first, he admitted he wasn't impressed by her. He thought she was just another pop singer. But after hanging out, he said she was actually mad cool. The bombshell came when he casually mentioned that during that time, he remembered Beyoncé and Mos Def were definitely messing around. That little detail reignited all the old whispers that their connection wasn't just about music.
I DJ'd for Mos Def, and we went over to London for some shows, and Destiny's Child was performing there. And I don't know if you know this, and don't tell anybody if you don't, but Mos Def kind of used to mess with Beyoncé.
And that's not even the end of it, because other allegations have been floating around too. Word on the street has long whispered that Queen Bey might actually swing both ways, and that rumor alone has kept fans and industry insiders buzzing with speculation for years.
She was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough, because she just started all the girls.
So if we're talking about Beyonce allegedly hooking up with Ray J while Jay watched, for a lot of people that's not far-fetched at all. If any of this is true, it completely changes the way we look at Ray J's non-stop ride-or-die loyalty to the Carters. It's giving guilty conscience mixed with some kind of hush-hush agreement. Fans online are even speculating that Ray J stays so loyal because he already crossed the line with whatever arrangement they had going on. But hold up, it gets even messier. Word on the street is that Brandy, Ray J's own sister, allegedly caught him and Beyoncé together back in the day. Yep, you heard that right. The whispers claim Brandy walked in on the two of them in a compromising position. And the tea doesn't end there, because some folks are even alleging that a tape exists, just like Ray J's infamous tape with Kim K, or that alleged tape with Pimp C that supposedly stirred up major drama with Beyoncé. Now, whether this tape is real or just one of those urban legends the internet refuses to bury, that's still a mystery. But the fact that people are even entertaining the idea of Brandy being a witness takes this saga to a whole other level of wild. Just picture it. Your own sister allegedly walking in and catching you tangled up with one of the biggest superstars on the planet. Honestly, I don't even know what to believe at this point, but the whispers just keep piling up. So tell me, do you think Ray J being so over-the-top defensive of the Carters is suspicious? Or is it just loyalty? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, share this video, and I'll see you on the next one.